Hi, this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we're with Junking with Lou, and we are still on our summer vacation up in Mackinaw City, Michigan. We're staying at Mackinaw Mill Creek Campground. Beautiful sights on a huge peninsula. You can see the bridge and Mackinac Island. And today we're going to be heading over to Cheboygan, Michigan. It's about 13-14 miles east of Mackinaw City, and we're going to go junking there because we always go junking wherever we go. So this is one of my favorite stores up there. This is the Salvation Army in Cheboygan, and I usually always find something there. And if you like what you're seeing, then hit the like button, ring the bell, and subscribe. Okay, so we're going to look through all the little items here. They have a lot of smalls in this store. That's probably why I like it, because I tend to buy these types of things. But today, for some reason, I did buy a couple things, but I must have been in a mood, because there's a lot of things I passed up that I look at now and think, what the heck was I thinking? Like this Hall bowl. This was a nice little bowl for $3.99. I should have picked up on that, but I probably thought I had quite a few bowls right now, and they're not selling like I want them to. So I passed on that. But sometimes you're in the mood to buy, sometimes you're not. This must have been a weird day for me. I thought this was one of those willow tree collectible things, but it wasn't. That's why I checked the bottom on that. Those are really good sellers, even though they're newer. So they have lots of pictures and lots of collectibles, and this was a colorized picture. Beautiful. I should have bought this, $1.99. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wish I was there now. And along with this one, I should have bought both of these. These are both really nice deals. The needlepoint is always a good seller. But sometimes when I buy a lot, then I get in the mood where I just don't want any more because I'm overwhelmed. So it must have been one of them kind of days. So anyways, they had lots to choose from. Lots of dishes and the serving pieces. And this was a nice little piece of blue bubble glassware, but it was just one bowl, so $2 wasn't a bad price, but there's not much you can do with one bowl. So I did have the set at one time, and I did sell the entire set. So I just didn't want to mess with one piece. But nice glassware. And here we have lots of little statues and things of that nature. Cute little plate. Didn't have a marking on the back. I wasn't sure about that one. That might have been newer. That was a little bit hard to tell. I was looking for like a left-in mark or something like that. They make lots of little figurines and things like that, and they're all very collectible. And this was a nice little vase. I had a little chip on the back of it though, a little mid-century vase. So I passed on that. You got to really look when you're in resale shops to make sure the object is perfect, because a lot of times people donate things because they're chipped or they're cracked or whatnot. So you have to really look things over before you purchase anything. Most of the time it's fine, but it's always good to check. And sometimes I like having another set of eyes looking at it. Now this I thought was older, didn't have any marking on it. I thought maybe it was going to be Anchor Hockey, but it wasn't. So I think it was modern, just made to look older. So I passed on that. Let's go down this aisle here. This was a nice little basket. The price was right, $2, but it was as is. I typically do not buy stuff that's as is. It doesn't sell well. I mean, this is also a piece of, this is Cape Cod, I believe. And that looks like a compote. And I passed on that. I believe it's supposed to have a lid. So it's a nice piece of glassware. I always tend to look into the toys too, because you just never know with toys. Sometimes you can find the oldest car or something really old within a bunch of modern toys. So it's always good to take a glance and just see what they have. You never know. And here's lots of baskets and stuff. I tend to not buy that kind of stuff unless I need it for my own home. They have lots of things on the end caps here to look at. This stuffed animal was really old. I don't know why I didn't buy it. That's like from the 60s. and 70s era, that would have been a good little buy. I know with some of these old stuffed animals, the stuffing is very packed solid, and if you try to wash them, you got a big mess on your hands. They just will not dry because the stuffing is not loose. It's very compacted, and once it gets wet, it's a nightmare. So that's probably why I passed on those, because if they were solidly packed, I wanted to be able to wash them. I like to be able to wash anything with cloth on it. So even though they looked like they were in good shape. Nice little bag of buttons, $3.99. I can't get much more than that for it. I probably could make $2 on it. Not really worth it. I try to look at things and see if I can triple the price. I typically have to triple the price, which sounds like a lot, but one part is for the object, one part is for your rent, and one part is the profit. So you're not making that much on it. So now and then, if it's a bigger priced object, I will maybe look at doubling or what have you. But the little stuff, you got to have the ability to probably triple it. Like these were super nice. $6.49, I probably could get 8 out of that. So that's not really worth it, even though it's a nice object for me to mess with. So we're kind of in the stationery department, and over here are some appliances and hardware and things like that. Oh, I always look in the lamps too. That lamp with the dial there, I know my aunt used to collect those, and they were quite collectible at one time, but this seems to have gone out of fashion. They don't sell like they used to. So just because something's old doesn't mean you always want to buy it, because it has to be a saleable object. Now these turkeys were nice. I don't know, they were from Japan, they were older. $2.29. I don't know what I was thinking here. I should have bought those. I think I even go back and look at them. But sometimes we make mistakes. Like I said, I must have been in a mood that day, in a unbuying mood. So, oh, and this is a nice little syrup pitcher. I would have bought that, but it was missing the top, the part that closes it off. So that was an as-is type of item. Now we always take a look at the linens and the blankets, and you never know what you're going to find there. And I, of course, head over to the pictures. I've gotten some really nice old pictures in the store before, and really nice old vintage clothing too. So here's a picture. It was beautiful. Nice old print. Just barely caught it. It was falling right off the wall, and it was numbered. Beautiful. Can't see it in that picture very good. I tried to show it, but the light was kind of glazing in. But I ended up buying that. That's a nice old picture. And I like what it was. It was an old house in the winter. It was a winter scene, which is kind of cool to put out in your booth in the winter time. Now, I don't always look in clothes, but sometimes I do, especially at this particular place, because I've seen some very old wool jackets and fur jackets and nice old flannel that can be quite valuable. So I was looking through the red check stuff. These were more modern, of course, and didn't find anything there today, but I have seen it there and done quite well on that stuff. Of course, we have to check the jewelry. That's always a must at every thrift stop. Didn't see anything too much there I could use. It was mainly more modern pieces. There's an old brush set at the bottom there. This is a nice piece of Sarah Coventry. I've actually had that piece. And of course, I looked at some of the fur coats. So I'm not a big promoter of fur, but when they're really old and they're vintage, then that's okay. I actually had a really nice mink coat that actually got stolen from one of the malls I was in. So that doesn't typically happen. That was a real unusual thing. So I don't really want to pay a whole lot for those types of things, because that could happen again. In the winter, somebody could just put it on and walk out the door. And unfortunately, that kind of stuff happens. And I always look in like the dresses and the jackets. That's where I typically find the most vintage stuff, is in the dresses. I looked at that flannel. That was a modern one also. I like this jacket just for me. I ended up going back and getting that jacket. I thought it had a great pattern on it. It wasn't necessarily anything valuable. I just really liked it. Of course, I got to look at the purses. This was a nice little velvet black purse. The chain was good. The latch worked correctly on it. It was a little bit more money than I would typically want to spend, but it was really nice. It was in good shape. It probably was used one time, like for a wedding or something like that, and that was it. Put in a closet someplace. So I picked up on that. A lot of times these special occasion purses are not used hardly at all. This one was nice, but kind of common. The price has to be right on those for me to pick those up. And I've bought a few purses that are like this wallet with this hand leather carving on that, and done quite well with that. I wasn't sure about the wallet. It was a nice piece and it was good shape, but usually I do better with the purses than the wallets. So I passed on that one. Something sparkly caught my eye, but it's new, so we passed on that. Just like a cat, I like something sparkly. So here's some more purses. That one was a cute one too. It was modern, but it was a little bit too much money for me to make a profit on. And that was our trip to Cheboygan, Michigan. And we were going to the Salvation Army there while we were on vacation up in Mackinaw City, Michigan. Thanks everybody for watching Junking with Lou, and please remember to subscribe to our channel. So bye-bye, folks.